2 minggu banjir melimpah di beberapa kampung di Rantau Panjang. 500 keluarga di Kampung Tersang masih berdepan situasi banjir termenung.
Flood in Malaysia are the one of the most regular natural disaster affecting country which occur nearly every year, especially during the monsoon season. The coast of Peninsular Malaysia are the most prone to the flooding, especially during the northeast monsoon season from October to March. Flooding in Kelantan, Malaysia is a recurring natural disaster that significantly impacts the region, especially during the monsoon season from November to March. This flood caused extensive damage to infrastructure, homes, and agricultural land, displacing thousands of residents and leading to significant economic losses. Effort to manage and mitigate the impact of flood in Kelantan include building flood defences, improving the drainage system, and implementing early warning system. However, the persistent nature of this flood poses ongoing challenges for local authorities and communities in their effort to adapt and respond effectively.
Here are some specific steps how to protect this record. There are need for the continued operation of the organization during the flood. First, waterproof container or cabinet. Waterproof container or cabinet by using a specially designed waterproof container or cabinet to store physical records. These containers are usually made of material that prevent water ingress even when submerged or exposed to heavy rain. Example, look for containers that have a tight seal and locking mechanism to ensure maximum protection. Second, secure offset storage. Consider storing physical copies of critical records in a secure offset location. This location should be outside of flood-prone areas and equipped with waterproof storage solution. Offset storage can provide an additional layer of protection against localized disasters that affect key locations. The last step is backup and redundancy by establishing robust backup procedures for handling records to ensure redundancy and maintain multiple copies of critical records in different locations, such as on-site and off-site, to reduce risk associated with physical damage during floods. By implementing these strategies, organizations can effectively protect critical records needed for continued operation during flood or the emergency. This ensures the preservation of legal and financial rights of all stakeholders while maintaining the continuity of an organization.
Then, flash floods can be caused by several factors typically related to intense and sudden precipitation or other phenomena that overwhelm the capacity of drainage system. Here are some common causes. Firstly, heavy rainfall. Kelantan experiences heavy rainfall during the northeast monsoon season, typically from November to March. Intense and prolonged monsoonal rains can lead to rapid runoff and overwhelm rivers and drainage system. Then, urbanization. Development in Kelantan has altered natural drainage patterns and reduced permeable surfaces, increasing runoff and exacerbating flood risk during intense rainfall. Furthermore, topography. Kelantan's terrain includes steep slopes and mountainous area which can accelerate runoff during heavy rainfall events, leading to increased water flow in rivers and streams. Lastly, river system. The state is crisscrossed by numerous rivers, including major ones like Sungai Kelantan and Sungai Golong. Heavy rainfall can cause this river to swell quickly, leading to flooding in low-lying areas. Moreover, flash floods can have significant effects on public society, impacting communities in various ways, which are loss of life and injury. Flash floods in Kelantan can lead to fatalities and injuries, particularly when people are caught unaware or unable to evacuate in time due to the rapid onset of flooding. Next, health risks. Floodwaters in Kelantan may be contaminated with pollutants, sewage, and debris, posing health risks such as waterborne disease, injuries from debris, and exposure to hazardous material. An impact on livelihoods. Agriculture communities in Kelantan may suffer losses due to crop damage, loss of livestock, and disruption to farming activities. Businesses and industry dependent on local economies may also face economic setbacks. Understanding this effect can inform disaster preparedness and response efforts in Kelantan, aiming to minimize the impact of flash floods on public society and promote sustainable recovery and development. In addition, if an organization experiences a flash flood, it can have a range of effects depending on its preparedness, the severity of the flood, and its specific circumstances. Here are some common effects that organization might face. The first one is disruption of operations. Organization may face disruption in their day-to-day operation due to damage to facilities, equipment, or transportation routes. Floodwaters can render office, factories, and warehouse inaccessible or unusable, impacting production and service delivery. Then, damage to property and assets. Facilities, inventory, machinery, and other assets may suffer damage or destruction during flash floods. This can lead to financial losses and the need for repairs or replacement, affecting the organization's financial stability. Lastly, loss of revenue. Disruption in operation and damage to infrastructure can lead to a temporary or prolonged loss of revenue for businesses and enterprise in Kelantan. This loss can be exacerbated if customers or clients are also affected by the flood and unable to conduct business.
Last but not least, here are the solutions on how to save the records, which divided into before and after. The solution on how to save records before the flood happens. The first one is risk assessment and cleaning, which you need to identify the vulnerabilities, which will assess the potential impact of a flood of your records, including the location of physical records and the infrastructure supporting digital records. Next, you can create a disaster recovery plan that develop a comprehensive plan that includes specific steps for protecting and recovering records in the event of a flood, to ensure all staff are familiar with the plan. The second one is emergency supplies and equipment, which is emergency kits, to maintain the kits with supplies such as plastic sheeting, sandbags, and waterproof tape to protect records during a flood. Next, for the drying and recovery equipment, we must have access to drying equipment such as dehumidifiers or fans, and recovery supplies such as freezers for wet documents or a cleaning material to mitigate damage immediately after a flood. However, what if the documents has been damaged by the flood? Here are the solutions on how to save all the records after the flood. The first one is recovery of physical records, which we need to take an immediate actions such as remove it from water. You need to carefully remove water damaged documents from flooded areas. And then separate wet documents to prevent further damage and facilitate drying. Next, you can also use drying techniques, which is air drying. What you need to do is spread documents out on flat surface using blotting paper to absorb moisture. Avoid direct sunlight or heat, which can cause further damage. You can also freeze the document, which is you can place heavily soaked document in plastic bags and freeze them to prevent mold growth and buy time for proper drying. Next, for the cleaning, you can do a surface cleaning. Last but not least, we have documentation and inventory, where you can record the damage. For example, document the extent of the damage with photographs and detailed notes for insurance and recovery purpose. For the inventory management, you can create an inventory of affected records, noting their condition and the steps taken for recovery.
In conclusion, records are among the essential assets to an organization. Hence, it is important for organizations to have their business plans to deal with emergencies such as disasters. As we focus on disaster, which is flood in this topic, organization must play the role to make sure their records are safe for the continuity of the business, especially those records of vital and permanent values. Effective records management preparedness for disasters is essential to ensure the continuity of operations and the preservation of critical information. A well-structured disaster preparedness plan includes risk assessment, the establishment of policies and procedures, and the implementations of robust backup and recovery solutions. By adopting a proactive approach to records management and disaster preparedness, organizations can minimize the impact of disasters, protect valuable records, and ensure a swift recovery. This not only safeguards the organization's assets but also maintains compliance with legal and regulatory requirements, thereby preserving trust and confidence among stakeholders.